She called him her son, loved him, and raised him for 12 years until one request shattered her world. When Emily's husband demanded a DNA test, she thought it was merely doubt, something they could clear up in a week. However, when the results arrived, both went pale. What they uncovered next not only changed their lives, but also rewrote everything they believed about love, family, and truth. Stay with us, because what began with a simple test unveiled a truth no one anticipated, resulting in more than just one relationship that crumbled. Please let us know where you're listening from. On an ordinary Sunday afternoon, Emily Harper was flipping through a family photo album, smiling at baby pictures of Tyler, when Mark walked into the room, looking pale with tight lips. "I need to talk to you," he said. What followed were words that shattered Emily's world. "I don't think Tyler's my son." 12 years of marriage. 12 years filled with bedtime stories, school plays, scraped knees, and birthday cakes. 12 years of shared parenting. Mark reading bedtime stories while Emily prepared school lunches, laughing together as Tyler created messy art projects, cheering at his soccer games. All at once felt fragile. Mark's eyes no longer sparkled when Tyler entered the room. His silence grew colder. Suspicion crept in like a shadow he couldn't shake. And now, standing in the middle of their living room with his arms folded and jaw clenched, he dropped the bombshell that shattered everything. "I want a paternity test." Emily couldn't sleep while Mark stayed in the guest room. She lay awake staring at the ceiling, haunted by his accusations. Tyler was their life, their joy. How could Mark even think that? At breakfast, Tyler chatted about school, oblivious to the tension, while Mark remained silent. Emily's hands trembled as she poured coffee, and then Mark repeated it. "We need that test." Emily agreed, not because she doubted, but because she needed to put an end to his worrying. 9 agonizing days later, the lab called them in. The doctor opened the envelope and said, "The probability that Mark Harper is the biological father is 0. But then he added, "Emily is not the biological mother either." The room spun. Emily's heart froze. The world blurred around her as sounds faded into a dull hum and her vision narrowed, as if the universe had just yanked the ground from beneath her feet. Tyler, her baby, the child she had brought home wrapped in a warm blanket and kissed on the forehead every night before bed, wasn't biologically hers. She had been there for everything. She was his mother, and yet the test contradicted that. It felt like a cruel joke, an absurd mistake that was hard to accept. She remembered giving birth, holding him for the first time. How could this be? Emily rifled through old hospital records, photos, and birth certificates. The times didn't match. Handwritten corrections appeared in strange places, some in different inks, some with initials hastily scribbled beside them, as if someone had hurriedly fixed a mistake without realizing the consequences. One record stated she had been moved to room 212, but she recalled being in room 208. Near the window, the deeper she delved, the more irregularities emerged, each one a crack in the foundation of her seemingly unshakable reality. She went back to the hospital and spoke with Patricia Reynolds, the administrator. Patricia's face darkened as she admitted there were mistakes back then due to staff shortages and disorganized records. "You should talk to a lawyer," with lawyer Ryan Mitchell's assistance. Emily tracked down Donna Blake, the nurse on duty the day Tyler was born. Donna had been dismissed years ago and now ran a flower shop. "I remember you," she whispered, her eyes filled with regret. "That day was chaos. I always wondered." Emily replied, "I may have given you the wrong baby." Ryan found another woman, Rebecca Lawson, who had given birth on the same day. Emily met her in a cozy house scented with homemade bread. When they looked at each other, there was an unspoken understanding, and they agreed to a DNA test. The following days were heavy with tension and silent prayers. Every moment was weighed down by the unknown. What if the results confirmed their deepest fears? Ryan called them at the moment the envelope arrived a week later. The room felt both too quiet and too loud. Rebecca reached for Emily's hand as they opened it together. Tyler was Rebecca's son. Logan, while the boy Rebecca had raised, was Emily's. Emily, and Rebecca decided to tell the boys. Tyler sat frozen, disbelief etched on his face. Then he ran away. Hours later, Emily found him on a park bench, staring at the lake, blending concern and apprehension. Emily approached him. Each step felt like a step into the unknown. Finally, his voice broke the silence. Barely a whisper. "Will you still be my mom?" he asked. "Always," Emily whispered back. Mark delivered the final blow. He stood in the kitchen doorway, arms crossed, guilt-heavy eyes fixed on her. "There's something else," he started, his voice trembling. "I've been seeing someone for 2 years. I want a divorce." The words landed like stones, with each one heavier than the last. Emily stared at him, numb, as her mind grappled with the betrayal. He had not only doubted her and their son, but now she learned he had emotionally abandoned their family long before this moment. She didn't scream or cry. She simply stared as if her soul had retreated inward. The divorce came swiftly. Mark vanished from their lives. Emily and Rebecca, once strangers brought together by heartbreak, became inseparable. What began with awkward conversations and shared grief blossomed into a deep bond rooted in mutual understanding. In each other, they found not just support, but a rare and unexpected friendship that helped them both heal. The boys, once confused and emotionally overwhelmed, found solace in each other's company. Tyler was quiet and artistic, while Logan was vibrant and full of life. Together, they made each other whole. Emily moved to a new house with Tyler. It was a modest, weathered cottage on the edge of town with a creaky porch swing and a large backyard. It wasn't fancy, but it was a place to breathe again, a space for Emily to rebuild, piece by piece, away from the echoes of the past. It was there, while attending a parent-teacher night at Logan's new school, that she met Ben Crawford, a physics teacher with a calm demeanor and eyes radiating patience. He spoke softly, asked thoughtful questions, and didn't waver at the sight of Emily's complicated past. Ben didn't rush or offer grand gestures or hollow promises. Instead, he showed up with warm smiles, books for the boys, and small acts of kindness that made Emily's heart begin to stir once more. He listened, he understood, and most importantly, he loved Tyler and Logan as if they were his own, never trying to replace anyone, but gently becoming part of their world. Emily observed the boys playing in the yard, their laughter resonating through the garden. Her heart, once fractured, now beat with peace. She had lost her husband, the life she thought she had, the home where laughter once flooded through the halls, and the dream of growing old with someone she once believed in. Yet in that emptiness, she discovered something far more significant, something no betrayal could ever take away, a son she chose every day, not out of obligation, but from the deepest depths of her heart, a friend who stood by her side, not because of shared blood, but because of their shared strength, honesty, and healing, and a man who offered her solace amid the storm, not by fixing her, but by walking alongside her with unwavering patience, revealing that love could be soft, kind, and steady. In the ashes of what had once been, she discovered what truly mattered, and this time, she built it not from fantasy, but from truth. Most importantly, she found herself. She realized love isn't found in DNA or last names. It lies in the choice to stay, to fight, to forgive. And Emily Harper chose love. What are your thoughts on Emily's life story? Considering Mark questioning his wife while knowing he was cheating, should he have just left without questioning who their son's father was? Would this have uncovered the hospital's negligence otherwise? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. And thank you for listening to Storyline Narratives.